imagine
anything like that?
it's really more so of like it's kind of like really difficult to explain,
Yeah.
right? Like you
You had
identify.
mentioned like you sort of your relationship with God has changed.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like there's a difference in my opinion in being aware of God,
Yeah.
right? And like in the sense of like thinking like, okay, well, whatever this God could be, like for anybody, for any individual, right, is very, very important,
Mhm.
right? Because the way that we live our lives and the way that everything happens around us happens solely as an individual, right? So now, when you have religion, these are collections of individuals that have the same truth, and their truth must be respected. Because there's this whole thing that like the concept of the peace that surpasses all human understanding.
Okay.
It's available for anybody, for anyone, regardless of race, creed,
Right.
origin,
Cast,
penis size.
like
you know
you got a seat at the table.
yeah,
Uh,
sit at the table.
yeah.
I like saying that. Increase the
That's the
size of
only
your
reason.
penis, sit
I'll
at
be
the
honest.
table.
That's the only reason I'm doing this.
Oh my God. Yeah,
I
because you
want
want to
to
sit at the table. You want to sit at the table. Oh my God. That's so great. I'm so glad you said that. That makes me so happy. And you are definitely going up the ranks in that. I want to let you know that. Please don't pee. So, like, what I mean by that, and to kind of elaborate on that feeling is that, you know, there's this whole concept, right, of faith,
Mhm.
right? Like when people say you just got to have faith in God, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
is a skill. That is not an is or an isn't. It is like the level of faith any human being has, spiritually speaking, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, because this is my opinion.
Mhm.
So the level of faith any human being has, spiritually speaking, is directly correlated to their relationship with God.
Say that again.
The level of faith that any human being has, spiritually,
Uh-huh.
is directly correlated to their relationship with God. Now, it's something where like I never had a relationship with God until now. I never talked to God and be like, "Yo, God, I just want to get in between those cheeks of this chick right now." Because I can talk to my
Oh,
God
oh.
like that. Like, you know
I
what I'm
thought you were just
saying?
telling God you wanted to get between those cheeks.
What, your cheeks?
No, God's cheeks.
Oh.
I mean, that would
Well,
be.
that might not be God's cheeks, baby, but there's certainly heaven.
Yeah, I want to get in those gates,
All right.
those pearly gates.
Seat at the table.
You know why they call them the pearly gates, right?
Is that a cream pie reference?
That's a cream pie reference.
It's a cream pie reference. All right. I'm glad we're on the same pie. So like there's the idea of like thinking that there's this huge being that's out there, right? That's
Yeah,
constantly watching over you, that's constantly
yeah,
being this like authoritative kind of figure. And that is the truth for some people, and they spiritually suffer because of it.
yeah,
Like for me, like faith is knowing that like when I get up tomorrow morning
yeah,
and I sit down and I talk to God and I stay connected with God.
yeah,
Faith is knowing that whatever happens to me in my life, I've got this thing now, like this concept,
yeah,
this feeling that's in my corner that's like, you know what, Dom, you're gonna be fine.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this shit sucks, but I'm here with you. There's a reason why you're going through this.
Mhm.
This is my will for you. And
Yeah.
I have to accept that,
Mhm.
you
Right.
know?
Yeah. If you start to look at things yeah, as just sort of like set out, right? Like a path that's predetermined that you're sort of yeah
Correct.
that
Like
you're on. So how do you feel about like how does free will fit into that?
Completely.
Yeah.
I have free will completely.
Yeah.
And the reason why I have free will completely is because free will is nothing more than a beautiful illusion of the universe. So no matter what, everything is happening all at once, all in the present, right? The feelings, the emotions, the fears, everything we feel happens presently. And because these things happen, no matter how they could happen, but they all happen in the present moment, the way that the human brain perceives space and time is not necessarily in the sense the way that the universe gives space and time. So like is it God's will for me to go into the van? Absolutely it is. And the reason I feel that way is because I have a feeling in my heart that I need to travel.
Yeah.
I need to experience things because like I've said it before, and I'll say it a fucking again. Like for me personally, in life, right? There are two things that can guarantee human fulfillment: relationships and
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
New relationships give new experiences, and new experiences give new relationships.
Yeah, they totally like feed each other. Yeah, I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. That really resonates with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So you talk about God as kind of being this sort of difficult to grasp, like kind of difficult to like articulate kind of subject. Do you have are you part of a like organized faith, or are you more your relationship
This
is with
this
God
is
individual?
let me put it to you this way. The easiest way that I was taught to come up with your personal understanding of God is to just write God on the top of a piece of paper, strike a
Yeah.
line through it, write is on the left side, write isn't, and just keep writing.
Yeah.
Keep writing and 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 never stop writing with what that could be. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Right.
is
I think God is a feeling, and I think like it's a feeling that resonates with everyone on some level, whether or not they have that name for it.
yeah.
And yeah, something that I've like kind of discovered more recently in life as well. Um, actually, I got this tattoo on my arm, R.I.P. Uh, a friend of mine killed himself about 6 years ago,
I'm sorry
and
to hear that.
yeah, and he was my like best friend in childhood, and we had kind of like drifted apart. But he was the first person who I ever really like sat down with and got deep with, and we had reconnected. I think like probably a month before all this happened, and had you know talked a little bit. And that tattoo is kind of like similarly stands in as like sort of this connection to God as like rest in peace from on a day-to-day level. What do you need to do each day so that when you lay your head down at the end of the day to rest, how can you make sure that you're like at peace with yourself? And then long term, how are you going to live a complete life where you're really feeling like comfortable with the decisions that you've made, the impact you've had on other people, so that you can lay your head down on your final day and really like really truly be at peace, you know.
I
uh,
mean, I feel like inner peace is relative. It's like, like it's like the same thing as like if you want to take like super soft shits, like you need to eat fiber. If you want to feel super soft on the inside, you need to pray, meditate, and kind of just discuss like things just like this with people, because like there's a difference, because it's like, you're not supposed to talk about politics, you're not supposed to talk about religion,
yeah.
you're not supposed to talk if you like P and the G or P and the B, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but like the whole aspect of it is like when you can have a real conversation with somebody, like like, and just get an idea of like what their individual level of spirituality is like, you know, for the sole purpose of like kind of, you know, putting maybe another extra flavor in your cup. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I love shit like that. Like I love kind of talking about the universe, like in the sense of like from an individual standpoint, because that's what it is. There'll never ever be any sort of science, there'll never ever be any sort of machine or anything that could literally take, you know, my brain and my consciousness
Yeah.
and make me live life through your eyes. That'll never be able to happen.
I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
I got a book for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a book called Digital Transformation by
Okay.
Thomas Siebel. Seibel, I think.
Okay.
But he's looking at like sort of the technological revolution. I just started reading it, so I'm like just in the thick of it right now. But
Yeah.
it's fascinating. He's talking about the technological revolution and sort of like drawing parallels or making an argument that we're at the very brink of something that's going to be as impactful to society or like our world as the industrial revolution was. And it, like, so it's interesting. He's looking at like the work of this guy Daniel Bell, who was a computer scientist in the 70s. And Daniel Bell had this idea that he kind of had the initial idea that like we're entering a technological revolution, right? And he had 5 points that we need to hit in order to determine that we're there. The first one was, I'm not going to be able to recall all of them, but I know that the first one was we need to have some computer system that connects all people, the internet. And then the second point was that that system needs to be integrated into our communication devices, right? In the 1970s, and so we're there, right? 3 was that all of our banking needs to be done online through this system. Um, Probably something about the means of production. 4, and then 5
Well,
was
comrade, with these means of production, we have oligarchy. We make money.
and the 5th one was that technology needs to be seamlessly integrated into our education systems. And I'm an educator myself, and so we're at a really interesting time right now where I teach young kids, 2nd graders, and we're doing, you know, with the quarantine coronavirus stuff that's going on right now.
Yeah.
We're doing all this distance learning stuff, and I work with low socioeconomic groups, and so we've had to really try and figure out how to provide access to those families. A lot of them didn't have internet or devices, and so we've gotten all that out to families. But now there's sort of this like creative renaissance in a way of like, how do we really make this really effective, this way of learning? How do we make it effective for all people?
I mean, look at YouTube. I mean, dude, I learned how to play guitar because of YouTube. I learned how to play piano because of YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, I learned how to increase the size of my penis because of YouTube.
You're gonna have to send me a link.
Hey.
No, yeah, I mean, 2 of my favorite musicians right now, like younger musicians, Melanie Faye from Nashville.
The lyrical guitarist, she's fucking phenomenal.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Oh, she's incredible.
Yeah. So she learned how to play. She learned how to play guitar because she started playing Guitar Hero.
Yep, and because of Eric Johnson. Yeah.
Got the T-shirt right here.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah. And Steve Lacy, same thing. Do you know Steve Lacy?
No, I gotta look him up.
Okay. Yeah, another like really incredible guitar player. He's done stuff with like Frank Ocean, I think. But yeah, you hear that, and even like Odd Future. You know, do you know how they all met?
How?
They were all like middle school, high school skateboarders who loved Pharrell.